Right, so, look, tonight we're going to talk about what I spoke about with David Lynch earlier on, which is the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. Everybody, myself included, is obviously anxious to figure out what's going on. And I got a little bit concerned when we'd seen the reports come out of Spain to say that Trent had, according to them, agreed a long time ago to join Real Madrid. So I did put that to David Lynch and ask if he'd heard anything along those lines. And of course, he hadn't, because it hasn't happened. So I think we can safely say that, look, we can't say Trent is 100% staying at Liverpool, but we can absolutely say that those reports of Trent Alexander-Arnold having already agreed a move is nonsense, quite simply. Stevie Boy said, I don't trust the football club but getting these contracts done. There's more to this than we may know. So, like you, Stevie Boy, and I think like most Liverpool fans, I'm very anxious about the contract situations, and particularly, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, speaking with David earlier on, as we're going to do many times throughout this season, we're usually going to catch up with David the day after Liverpool play, so it's a regular piece of content you can expect. But as well as covering the match that we've done and looking ahead, we'll always talk about the contract situations, any potential transfer news coming up as well. And I did say it to David, does he have any updates on it? And he certainly was quick to play down the nonsense coming from Spain that Trent has already agreed to move. But again, we don't seem to have any positive news to come with regards to what's happening with the contract. Truthfully, I haven't got a clue. If I'm being honest, Stevie Boy, I would be surprised if Liverpool were able to renew all three. I hope that we can. I certainly think most of us believe that will be the right way forward. But do you know what? Let's put it to a poll. Let's put it to a poll. I'm going to just get a poll up here for you guys to vote on. 1 second. Right, so what I'm asking is, do you think Liverpool renew all of Trent, Virgil and Salah's contract? And it is important that I emphasise the word all here. So the question here is, will all three get done? And you guys can vote yes or no. And then we'll talk about it, of course, when we revisit in about 20 minutes. Can't see all three signing contracts, nor can I. If I'm being really honest with you, mate, I do feel like we will end up not renewing one of them at least. I don't really... It's weird because I say that, but it is just a gut feeling. I don't know any reason as to why we wouldn't sign all three. I just think that the Salah one is going to be very difficult for Liverpool to get over the line. I certainly hope that Mohamed Salah stays. I think we all do, but I don't know. I have my doubts about... Like, David raised something earlier on, and I've kind of been thinking about it since. We're going to have to commit quite a significant amount of money to renew Trent Alexander-Arnold. You're probably talking a pay rise of between 2.5 and 4 million quid a year. You're probably going to be talking about a signing-on bonus maybe as well, the length of that contract. So that's going to be a significant outlay for the club. So do we have the cash there, or the willingness, I should say, to reinvest more money into 2 to 3 more years of Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, with the caveat of the age that the guys are at? We all want them to. I just don't know the answer to the question as of yet. Bruno said Trent's 300 to 350k back contract is easy to sort out. Salah 2 years. I don't know. Like 3 to 350 is a huge jump for Trent. Trent's currently on about 200 grand a week. I was thinking somewhere between the 250 and 270 mark for Trent in my own mind. You know, going up to, if you gave him 300 grand a week, that's a 10 million quid a year increase. That's a lot of money to increase a player's contract. So I don't know if I'd be going quite that high. If I'm Liverpool, I'd probably be looking to get Trent, try to tie him down somewhere between 250 and 270 personally. But if it gets done, it gets done. Mark said, I really don't think Trent is a 300k a week player. So I guess we'll have to look at this in a number of ways. To us, he's probably a 300k a week player. Is the way I'd best probably describe it. Or a 270k a week player. Because his value to us as a football club, with him being a local boy and all, I think that would be higher than maybe his value to somebody else. Now, of course, if you're Real Madrid sniffing around, you probably feeling like you can get Trent for next to nothing here, and what you pay him in wages would be a fraction of what he probably would have been valued at in the open market if he had 2 or 3 years on his deal. So I think to us, he's probably worth a little bit more than maybe to somebody else. Now, I don't know if Michael Edwards or Richard Hughes feels that way, But I would say for us, it's important to keep him here. He should be a focal point of this team moving forward. A local boy, vice captain, and look, playing well as well. You know, the last couple of years he's really pushed on again. I want to just put my hands up on something actually. So any of you who watch my player ratings videos, I did try to make it clear that there's always a player or two that I probably undervalue their performances when I've looked at the game. And having watched the game back and read David Lynch's piece as well, I think actually Trent's defensive input to that game deserves to be highlighted as well. Because, you know, when I think of Trent, I certainly think of his contributions moving forward, his assists, the passes he sprays around the pitch. But he did keep Rafa Leao pretty quiet in this game, so I think that's worth acknowledging as well. I'm not arsed in the slightest if Trent Bellingham leaves. He certainly isn't worth the money being spoken about. Really? Look, it's an opinion, mate. I respect your opinion on it, but he's already on 200 grand a week, and I would say he's certainly improved as a player since signing that last contract. So, to me, he does deserve a pay rise. Now, what that pay rise is, of course, is still up for debate. Personally, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm thinking 250, 270, something along those lines. David Newell said, the scary thing is, if you're Madrid owner or manager, Trent and Saliba right now take that team to probably being up there as the best team ever. So you would go all out for them. Well, the two players from the Premier League, David, that have been widely reported as being targets for Real Madrid are, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Rodri from Manchester City. If you drop those two into that Real Madrid team, it's just ridiculous. So I'm hoping that, well, I don't actually care if Rodri goes, to be fair, but I'm hoping that Trent certainly doesn't go, because that it would be difficult to look on, and it would be almost incomprehensible to think about us losing Trent for nothing. Yeah, I think we'd be entitled to 300 grand in training, 300,000 euro in training compensation or something like that. Something really, really paltry anyway. It would be, it'd be shocking. JWS, how are you, my friend? Said Trent is a 300k a week player. It's just our structure. You must balance out the player, the climate, the football world, plus age. Exactly. And of course, Trent has never cost the club a transfer fee, so he came through the academy. If anything, I think that adds to the ability or maybe the desire to give him a good contract because he came through. And it doesn't, like, the club doesn't have an 80 million transfer fee that they want to just reimburse or recoup for Trent. They brought him through. So, yeah, I think giving him a 300 grand or 270 grand a week wage is absolutely within our means. And again, let's remind ourselves that we've saved quite a ton of money when Matip, Thiago Alcantara and Adrian San Miguel moved on. Again, the figure was about £18.7 million over the course of a year. Dylan said, Trent feels the most likely to stay as he came from the academy. I would be very shocked if he didn't sign the new deal. I'd be shocked and I'd be worried, Dylan. I'd be worried because I think the backlash from the fans as to how this was allowed to happen would be fair, first and foremost, but also I think it would be a huge black mark against the owners. You know, wherever your position is on the owners, I think if you allow Trent to walk out the door for free, that flies into the face of everything that we believe about the way our football club is run. You know, you cannot let him go for free. It would be ludicrous. You know, I'm already annoyed enough about some of the players who've left the club for free. But if you throw in the possibility of Virgil, Mohamed and Trent, it's crazy. Andrew Smith said, there's no loyalty in today's footballers, local lad or not. If Madrid come knocking, he wouldn't hesitate. I don't know how to answer that because I don't know Trent well enough on a personal level or at all on a personal level to know what loyalty he feels to the club or not. You know, he grew up around Anfield. I'm sure that it will be a difficult decision if he decides to leave. But I don't know, mate. You know, it's not just any old club, is it, knocking on the door? It's Real Madrid, and it's certainly a worrying situation. You know, that's why I was even more angrier over the summer that we didn't get it sorted out, because the longer it's went on, the more time he has to think about it, the more time you have for Madrid to get into his ear, and I just don't think it's going to be a good situation for us at all. It's just a distraction until it's resolved.